Good afternoon and welcome to Strode's virtual open evening. We're coming to you live this afternoon, very strange circumstances again as we find ourselves in another lockdown and unfortunately unable to have our normal physical open evening. However, I'm hoping this evening that we'll be able to share some key information about the college with you and to answer any questions that you may have. My name's Amanda Down and I'm the Principal for Strodes and Windsor Sixth Form Colleges. I'm joined this evening by Fiona Carthy, who will be fielding your questions, and my Executive Director of Sixth Form, Karen Griffiths, who is also on hand to answer any of your questions. I'm also joined by two of our students, Thomas Neblett and Lucy Valois, who will be speaking to you later. After this presentation, there is a number of other presentations and an opportunity for you to speak to our Sixth Form staff. So, what makes Strode such a special place and somewhere that you should be considering? I think the very fact that we are a Sixth Form college gives us a unique edge. We are specialists in post-16 education. We know our subjects really well. We know students at post-16 really well. We know what they need, we know how to support them and how to help them succeed and achieve their goals. One of the benefits of a Sixth Form college is the wide range of subjects on offer to our students. Currently, we offer over 30 different A Levels and 20 plus Level 3 BTechs. We're really excited that our curriculum continues to develop, continues to grow. And this September, we're really excited to be introducing criminology as a new course for our students. We're continuing to reflect on and to grow our curriculum, and we aim to make sure that there is something there for every single one of our students. So whether that is A Levels, whether that's a vocational BTech programme, or indeed a mix and match programme, we hope there is something there for everybody. Because we're a specialist Sixth Form college, our facilities, our workshops, our classrooms are quite deliberately set up to accommodate, facilitate and support Sixth Form education. Alongside of that are the wide range of enrichment activities and supportive activities that students can also access, including our Aspire programme for those students who are aiming for Russell Group universities, Oxford, Cambridge and out into the wider world. We are really delighted at our ever improving pass rate and high grades. And last year we were delighted to see that our pass rate rose to 99.7%. It's an ever increasingly positive picture and again reflects the hard work and dedication of staff and students, but also the benefits of that specialist teaching and learning. We understand that as part of that specialist provision is the guidance and the support for students as they make the transition from Key Stage 4 to Key Stage 5. We absolutely understand that the transition from GCSEs to A Levels and Level 3 BTechs can be challenging. Students can often find that the study skills required mean that step up, and we are ideally placed to ensure that students have the best support possible to make sure that their individual needs are identified and that they are supported and helped. That transition goes beyond the classroom and goes to our pastoral support. We absolutely understand that this is a really odd time for students. Ironically, it can be the most important part of your education, and yet it is the shortest time. So having spent 7 years in primary school, 5 years in secondary school, it's 2 years at post-16, or indeed more akin to 18 months. And it's really important that students get the best out of it and make the most out of the opportunities available to them. It's an opportunity to engage with everything that is there, to make sure that they are making progression and that they are really endeavouring to meet their goals and achieve their aims. We were absolutely delighted in November, December of 2019 that our Ofsted inspection validated all of the hard work and all of the efforts that we've been putting in and rated us as good. It absolutely supports that knowledge, that understanding that what we are offering is a good quality of education for every single one of our students. That validation that our specialist sixth form offering is there and will enable our students to be successful. From the good advice that staff give to students to ensure that they're on the right programmes of study, to ensuring that learners develop a good understanding of wider society and are able to benefit from a really sound tutorial programme, to the fact that in curriculums, teachers are sequencing and developing curriculum in a way that enables our students to be successful. We understand at the moment that one of the key concerns is about ensuring our students are safe. It's an odd time, and we have been battling with lockdown and with all of the other challenges that we face. However, we would assure you that we continue to take every step possible to ensure that our students and our staff are safe, from enhanced cleaning to personal hand sanitisers for all of our students, to enforcing 2 metre distancing, perspex screens. We are there. To support our students with remote learning, we have a laptop leasing scheme, and we're really proud of being able to meet the needs of our students to ensure that they are able to continue their learning, even though it is remote delivery at the current time. On top of this, we are giving out weekly updates to our students and to our parents to ensure that they are kept fully informed of everything that we are doing and of the constantly changing field that we find ourselves in, whether that is with curriculum issues or indeed with issues to do with remote learning or returning to face-to-face teaching. So why choose sixth form? Well, obviously, as I've said, it's a specialist provider. It is that wide range of subjects. We are passionate about what we do. It's why we choose to specialise in sixth form. We are dedicated to getting the best out of our students and to ensuring that they really can progress on to their chosen destinations. We're really proud of our pass rate, of our ever-improving high grade rate, of the fact that we can customise programmes of study to meet the needs of our students. Our 100% BTech pass rate continues to be there year after year, and again, ever increasing high grades within that provision. We're really proud of the stretch and challenge we offer our students as well, shown in the high grades, but also as part of our Aspire programme. For students who join us, who are thinking of applying to the most prestigious universities and have achieved a three or more A-star GCSE grades or grade 8 or above, there is this opportunity to join our Aspire group. It's customised to students, providing the support that they need and the guidance that they need to apply to those Russell Group universities. We are thrilled that our students are going on to some fabulous destinations, including the lovely Nathan Gage, who you can see on your screen, who's actually joined Princeton University. Every year we have students continuing to grow in numbers who are applying successfully to join Oxford and Cambridge. But beyond that are the wide range of universities that our students are progressing onto, from Bristol to Reading, to St Mary's, to Trent, Nottingham, Liverpool. It's huge. So whether your destination is to study aeronautical engineering, fashion design, Gothic literature, or mathematics, whatever it is, there is something here for you, and we will ensure that you are successful in your aspirations. Our tutor team are ideally placed to help you perfect your UCAS statement, your personal statement, to ensure that you are going in with the best possible opportunities. Again, one of the benefits of being a sixth form specialist provider means that we know exactly what our students need to do to be successful in those applications to university. We're ideally placed to give them the guidance that they need and the support as they go through the application process. However, we understand that some of our students may wish to stay closer to home, and we are therefore continuing to develop our own offering here at the college. We're delighted that at our Windsor campus, we are able to offer level 4 courses in art and design, performing arts and creative arts. But at our Langley campus, there are opportunities to study in business, early years and social work. So for those students who are looking for a foundation year, or indeed to stay closer to home, there is something here for them to help them progress. We absolutely understand that grades are important, but they are only part of the story. It is about everything else that goes into getting those grades, that goes into supporting our students as they make the journey from Key Stage 4 through to the other side. So whether your aspiration is to go to university, a higher apprenticeship, or the workplace, we know what it needs in order to help you to be successful. And we are here to do exactly that. Your programme of study at post-16 will look quite different from what you are currently studying. For most students, that programme of study is made up of 3 subjects, as opposed to the 8 or 10 that you are studying currently. I would imagine for most of you, there is at least one of those subjects, whether it's a core subject or indeed something that you chose as an option that you're now hopefully desperately to get rid of, can't actually remember why you chose it, which makes it even more important to choose your subjects at post-16 carefully. For every hour that you spend in the classroom with classroom delivery, you will be expected to undertake an hour of independent study. This is the transition from teacher-led work to student-led work that will be primarily what you are doing at university. And again, sixth form colleges have that unique position of being the pathway, the bridge between school and university, because our aim is to ensure that every single one of our students is an effective and successful independent learner. So, what do you need to join our sixth form and to be part of our wonderful community here at Strodes? 5 or more GCSEs at grade 4 or above qualifies you for one of our A-level programmes. Please do check the website or a prospectus if you've managed to get hold of one for individual details about the entry requirements for our subjects. Most of them have got specific entry grades, so please do check those carefully. You can ask questions about those on the curriculum group chat and more information about individual courses. 4 or more GCSEs at grade 4 or above qualifies you for one of our level 3 BTech programmes. Again, please do check the individual entry criteria, as there are some very specific ones for individual courses. BTechs have a slightly lower entry criteria to A-levels because of the assessment. But, as I'm sure most of you will be aware, level 3 BTechs do now have an externally assessed unit. If, however, you're not successful in getting those 4 GCSEs at grade 4 or above, then there is always the option of one of our level 2 pathway programmes, a foundation year that will equip you to move on to those level 3 pathways. It gives you a slightly longer period of time with us, but nevertheless, we will ensure that you reach your destination and that you are successful. I'm sure you're aware of all the changes that have been taking place. All A-levels are now linear subjects, which means all of your assessment is at the end of your second year. Some subjects still have a coursework element, but please, again, do check the website for further details. And of course, please do avail yourself of the information on our Year 11 pages, which will give you an indication of the kind of work that you might be doing, some things to be thinking about. As I've already said, level 3 BTech courses now all have an externally examined or assessed unit of work. For some subjects, this is a formal exam. For others, it is a controlled assignment. And for some, it is a mix and match of both. But again, more details about those can be found on our website or by joining our curriculum group chats. The majority of our students will only study 3 main courses. Universities make their offers based on 3 good A-levels. For those students who are joining us with half or more of their GCSEs at grade 7 or above, we will consider 4 A-levels. But we always ask our students to think really carefully about that, to think about the amount of work that they will be managing and to think about why they want to undertake 4, because it is for a full 2 years. We ask them to think very carefully about what the benefits are and whether indeed that's really going to help them. 3 A stars are worth 4 more than 2 Bs and 2 Cs. So please think really carefully about that. One option open to students is to take on what's called the EPQ, or the Extended Project Qualification. This is a mini research project that students can take in their first or second year. It carries the same UCAS points as an AS or half an A level and is really looked upon favourably by many universities. It's a great opportunity for students to demonstrate lots of skills that they may not necessarily be able to show through their core curriculum. It's ideal for students who are applying to university or indeed to higher apprenticeships for a course that isn't covered by their main programme of study. So if you really are looking to do creative writing, why not think about writing your own Gothic story? If actually you're looking to do ecology, then there's an opportunity for you. So whether your passion is upcycling, whether it is graphic novels, or whether you just simply want to debate whether fish have feelings, there is a wealth of opportunity for you to explore something that is personal to you. In addition, for those students who are more creatively minded, we have the Gold Arts Award, a similar programme to the extended project qualification, but much more suitable for those students who are studying an arts-based programme. So now comes the really important part, because this is about you as students. We here at Strodes are absolutely dedicated to our students, to ensuring that you are successful, but you have to be on the right pathway. Really think carefully about what you want to do in the future. Are there certain subjects that you're going to need in order to help you progress on to that future, to help you to be successful? Think about what you're good at. Think about what you really enjoy. I promise you, half the secret to being successful is to be doing something that you are really, really passionate about. It certainly helps to motivate you and get you up in the morning, particularly when it's a cold, dark January one. Please don't choose something because your best friend is doing it. It's never, ever really a good idea. And please don't choose something because you think it's going to be an easy option. I promise you, at post-16 level 3 study, there are challenges in every single subject. Think about the study skills that are going to be required for each of your subjects. The essay writing, the research, the mathematical and scientific elements that might be implicitly in some of those subjects. Think about which subjects go well together. Do they support each other? Do they blend? Take advice from everybody that you can. Students who are currently here at the college and studying those courses, older brothers and sisters, mum and dad, they might actually have some good advice to share with you about what you're interested in and what you might be successful at. Please talk to your teachers. They again will be able to advise you. And if at this stage you're sitting there thinking, I really don't know what I want to do in the future, please don't worry. There are lots and lots of us who are considerably older who are still making up our minds. So it's quite okay to keep your options open. I'm going to pause at this point and hand over to Thomas and to Lucy, who I'm hoping are here and are going to be able to tell you a little bit about their experience at the college and what it's been like for them before we finish off this afternoon. Thomas, Lucy, I'm not quite sure which one of you is going to go first.
Okay, that's fine. Hi.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi, I'm Lucy and I'm in my second year at Strodes. I study modern history, Spanish and psychology as A Levels, and I'm also student president of the Student Union Executive. What I enjoy most about Strodes is probably the wide range of activities, some of which we've already mentioned, but in particular in terms of the Student Union, we run a lot of projects and they're always really fun to take part of. For example, this week is Pride Week, so we've been doing lots of activities for that. In the future, I plan to go to university, and the Aspire programme that we've already mentioned has really helped me apply to Russell Group universities and also universities internationally. So yeah, I think that's it from me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lucy. Thomas, are you out there? This is all very strange, isn't it? You know.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm at Strodes in my second year too, doing history, politics, and sociology, and I'm a non-portfolio officer in the student union. I chose Strodes because of the flexibility and diversity of the courses that are offered. I really liked that. I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do, and I liked that you could mix and match pretty much anything, and they would timetable it much more easily than a school sixth form where it's much more restrictive. And being allowed to change courses in the first term gave me a bit of peace of mind to choose options I wasn't sure I'd like. So I initially picked English literature, decided it wasn't for me, and I could drop it, and it was all very easy. So overall, I'm quite happy I chose freedom and choice of a sixth form college rather than a sixth form at a school where it's a bit less of that. I'm enjoying being on the student union. I've got involved in several different projects. We've expanded our community relations, reaching out to the church. Yesterday I was in a meeting about that, communicating with local businesses over student and COVID regulations. We drew up a COVID charter to try and make sure everyone, students and the local community, were following the COVID guidelines. And I've been on the environment committee where we're raising awareness, running competitions, that sort of thing, to try and improve the college's impact on the environment. In the future, next year, I want to go to a top university. The college has helped me apply to Russell Group universities and to Cambridge University, which I've now got an offer from. That was through the Aspire programme, like Lucy said, where we got help with our personal statements, interview technique, and with what's called supercurricular experience, going to public lectures, reading around the subjects. That's really key. And the college have helped me with that. That's probably the main thing for me. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, both of you. It's really quite daunting, as I'm sure you can appreciate, for students to speak to a wide group of audience. I don't know whether it's easier or harder when you can't see your audience. I don't know. Lucy, Thomas, you'll have to tell me afterwards, but thank you so much for that. As both of the students have just said, being part of college is not just about what goes on in the classroom. It's much more than that. It's about the wider aspects. We completely understand that it is about grades and it is about achieving the best results you possibly can. But we also believe it's about ensuring every single one of our students is equipped as well as they can be to go out into the wider world as a successful and confident young person. And part of that comes from the huge range of opportunities that we ensure our students have access to. So whether that is via our student union executive, whether that is through one of the many enrichment opportunities, the trips, the visits that are on offer, there is a huge amount there and available to our students. It is part of our commitment to our students, as I said, to ensure that they are fully equipped. And that includes work experience, something that all of our students have to undertake. This year's been obviously a little bit more difficult, a little bit strange with various lockdowns and virtual experiences, but it is nevertheless a core part of what we are offering. We absolutely understand that being part of our culture, being part of our group, means committing to being part of our community. Strode sits in the middle of Egham, and Thomas mentioned the charter that we formed this year with our local community. We are absolutely committed to ensuring that we are a very close-knit community, and we absolutely encourage our students to be part of that. Beyond the classroom is the huge wealth of support that is available to our students, not only from specialist subject teachers who are there to provide support in and outside of the classroom, who know their courses really well, know exactly what it is that students need to do in order to be successful, who understand the demands of the exams and the assessments, who know that it's much more than just necessarily what's on the main curriculum, but that wider experience. It's about our specialist sixth form tutorial team, who again are dedicated to providing students with exact knowledge, skill sets that they will need. It's about our dedicated learning support team, who again are sixth form specialists. The study skills team, who are there and available to help students with time management, with organisation, and with general study skills should it be available and needed. It's about our specialist careers team, who again are there and available to give students advice, whether it's about higher apprenticeships, whether it's about actually finding that pathway and what you want to do. They are there and on hand for one-to-ones, for group sessions, and they also organise talks and tours as well. It's about the workshops, and it's about the range of events that take place throughout the year and are available to our students. Both Thomas and Lucy mentioned some that are there, from the environmental aspects that have been going on to the Pride Week that is currently taking place this week. And yes, we are continuing with events, even though they're virtual and somewhere out in the ether. So what next? Hopefully, this is about you making an application to us, deciding that Strodes is absolutely the place you want to be. We believe that we have everything here to make you successful, to help you achieve your dreams and your aspirations. For those schools on the page in front of me, if you're part of those, we have a guaranteed applicant status, which means that we will prioritise your application and guarantee you an interview as soon as possible. However, please don't worry if your school isn't listed there. It doesn't mean we're going to ignore you, and we will absolutely endeavour to make sure that we get you through to interview as quickly as possible. So, what next? Well, hopefully you make an application to us. You will then be invited to an interview with one of our specialist team who will talk you through your application, talk you through your aspirations, and think about your pathway. They will talk you through the subject choices that you've made, explain the entry criteria to you, and hopefully help you agree on a programme of study. We will then make you an offer that we'll ask you to confirm. Hopefully, we will then be able to invite you to one of our Year 11 taster days in the summer, an introduction day, a chance to come and be part of our college, to be part of our family here at Strodes. And then hopefully, at the point at which you get your results, you'll be able to join us for enrolment. And then your journey here at Strodes begins. Thank you very much for listening this afternoon. I think we're now going to have some questions, Fiona, before an opportunity to move on to some of our other events this evening.
That's right. Thanks very much, Amanda. That was really useful. Firstly, just to say that Lucy and Thomas are still around. So if anybody has any particular questions that they want to ask of our students, please pop those in the Q&A, and we'll actually ask them, and they'll respond live to you so that you'll be able to hear them. Let me just run through. There's been quite a few questions coming through, so let me just pick some up for you. What about the extracurricular activities at the sixth form? I know you've covered some of those, but perhaps just to repeat.
Okay, so they vary from year to year. We try to respond to requests from students, and obviously, as I'm sure you can appreciate, student interests change over time. So we have an established Duke of Edinburgh group, we've had a dance group, we've had choir, we've had a debating society, we currently have a Latin group, which is amazing. We have an eco group, we have our LGBTQ group, we have the student union executive, there's obviously the sports teams, there's the jamming session, which is in the music department, and lots of other aspects that go on. So whether it's art or whether it's science, there's lots of activities that are taking place, but we very much try to respond to student interests.
That's amazing. I can't remember in that list whether you mentioned cheerleading, but I can remember seeing.
Yes, there is cheerleading as well. Absolutely, yes.
Great, thank you. This is a question that we've been asked quite a few times, I think, in these sessions, but it's always worth repeating, which is about dress code. Does it, and are there uniforms or anything, or? Okay,
no, so at the sixth form college we don't have a specific uniform. What we do ask is that students dress respectfully. So I think nothing that you would wear to the beach, and obviously nothing that may cause offence in terms of slogans, images, length. I guess that's probably the easiest way in which to summarise it. But no, we don't have a set dress code, and we don't have a uniform, which again makes us distinctive, I guess, as a sixth form college as opposed to a school sixth form.
Yeah, it's that bridge, isn't it, between school and university? And yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think what I would say, Fiona, is that obviously there are some subjects, our practical subjects, where there is a requirement for appropriate wear. So our scientists are expected to have a lab coat and their own goggles, but they're able to purchase those from us. Our dance students and our acting students are expected to wear what we call blacks when they are doing practical performances. And our sports teams as well, of course, our sports students have a requirement to wear a certain kit. So there are some, I guess, expectations, but they're specific to subjects.
That's great, thank you. Somebody's asked a question about, can you go to university with a level 3 BTech?
Yes, you absolutely can. It depends what you want to go on to do, but absolutely, yes, BTechs are not prohibitive to progressing onto university, and indeed a large number of our students who choose to take that pathway, that is absolutely what they go on to do. So yeah, you can get to university with BTechs or with A Levels.
And that's interesting because now we've had a couple more questions come in just about that, which is about the combination of, you know, are there BTechs that are equivalent to A Levels, and could you then combine them with an A level subject?
So BTechs are grouped into 3 groups, I guess is the easiest way to explain it. So what's called the extended certificate is the equivalent of 1 A level. The national diploma is the equivalent of 2 A levels, and the extended diploma is the equivalent of 3 A levels. What we would say to students is to think very carefully, because actually the demands of BTech are quite different to A levels, and wherever possible we would encourage students to think about 1 BTech and 2 A levels rather than 2 BTechs and 1 A level, if that makes sense. There are some exceptions, and we will always deal with each student as an individual. So it's about the individual student's grade profile, it's about the individual student's aims and aspirations and what they are choosing to do. So a good example of that would be somebody who is looking to very much progress onto an art pathway and chooses to do the National Diploma in Art and Design alongside A-level photography, for example, or A-level graphic design. And those students who are choosing to do that are very much committed to an art pathway and are looking to progress on to a foundation degree in art, for example. And that would absolutely be a perfect kind of combination of subjects.
Great, thank you. I think that really helps. And also, not many other colleges offer that.
No.
Do they?
No. I mean, I think, again, it's what makes us unique in terms of being a sixth form. We absolutely understand that for some students there are certain courses that they're better suited to in terms of following a BTech pathway, and sometimes that very much comes down to the assessment processes. So for BTech, as I think I explained earlier, there are some externally examined units, but the vast majority is still internally assessed through coursework units. So it's a kind of an ongoing assessment. And for many students, that's absolutely what they need. It takes some of the pressure off from everything being at the end of 2 years. But it is very much about individual students' needs. Part of that is what comes out of the interview and guidance, and that specialist knowledge and understanding of what you're going to have to do, the course content, and the demands on you as a student. But part of that is the conversation that hopefully students will have with their interviewer.
Great, thank you. Another question is about, can you apply to both Windsor and Strodes?
Yes, you can. I'm afraid you still get me as the principal, and you still get Karen as the executive director. So wherever you go, you can't escape us. Yes, you can. You can still apply to both. There are some differences between some of the courses. We offer a lot of extended diplomas at Windsor. So for those students who are considering the BTech pathway, that's often a kind of a consideration. What we do say to students is to think very carefully about the 2 campuses and to think about travel. What are the advantages and the disadvantages for you at both? We are a united sixth form provider, so we are collaborative. We're very much one sixth form with one ethos and one vision, and we share a lot of things in terms of staff, in terms of access to enrichment. There are a lot of crossovers. So a very good example would be currently our level 2 students they're just about to embark on what's called the Respect project. And that is something that they will do collaboratively together. So although they're on different sites, they will come together as one group to do this particular project. So lots of collaboration, but yes, you can absolutely apply to both at this stage.
Great, thank you. Does it matter where you live? Can you travel, you know? No, okay.
Absolutely not. No, you can travel to us from anywhere, and we'd be delighted for you to travel from anywhere to us. I think the key thing I would say there to anybody is to really think about your journey. Obviously, again, one of the benefits of a sixth form college is that we offer some subjects that are not available in other sixth forms or in schools. So criminology, applied psychology, film studies, classical civilization, philosophy. We offer 3 different English courses. So we offer literature, language and literature, and we offer linguistics or A-level English language. So there are a number of things that we offer that are quite specific and quite unique to us, and therefore attract students from a wide spectrum of places. I think for any student, I would say think about your travel patterns, think about how you're going to get to us, because to be successful, you need to be able to attend and to engage. So that's a real consideration. But yes, it doesn't matter where you currently are. Please apply, and we will look and see what we can offer you a place for.
Great, thank you. Lots of questions coming in, which is great. Could you perhaps talk a bit about the timetable?
Absolutely.
Are students timetabled 5 days a week?
Absolutely. So our college day runs from 8:45 till 4 o'clock. Each lesson is an hour and a half. On a Monday, we don't start, or students don't start, perhaps I should say, I'll rephrase that. Students don't start until 10:30 because we have a set meeting and training time on a Monday morning. Students will not necessarily be in at 8:45 every single day, and will not necessarily go through from 8:45 till 4 o'clock. We don't have a morning registration or an afternoon registration as schools do. We register students in every single one of their lessons, which means that we can track attendance by day, by subject, and by overall weekly attendance as well, which allows us to sort of really spot where there are some patterns, where somebody doesn't like a Tuesday afternoon, for example, for whatever reason. So students may find that they are in at 12 o'clock on some days, and that conversely they're finished by 12 o'clock on other days. But that's in terms of classroom lessons. And we would always say to students, think very carefully, because as I said right at the beginning, for every hour that you're in the classroom, there's an hour of independent work or set work that you will be doing outside of that. So we would encourage our students to really think about making the best use of their time. So using the study facilities at the college, so our really well-equipped study centre, and we've got huge study spaces as well, really taking advantage of those to use the computers, the access to research that is there. But generally speaking, students, yes, will be in 5 days a week unless they are extremely lucky, but they are very few and far between. And we would really sort of say your day will vary depending on your subject combinations.
Okay, thank you. If you've been interviewed and already offered a place, what happens if you don't get the expected grades?
Okay, so first of all, I would say please don't panic. We have a number of students every year who arrive at enrolment and haven't got the grades that they were really hoping for one reason or another. What we will always endeavour to do is to find an alternative programme of study for those students. So we will look at alternative subjects or alternative pathways through to help that student achieve their final goal. I'm afraid we do have entry criteria for our subjects for a very good reason, and they are there because we know what students need to have in terms of skills and in terms of understanding in order to be successful on those courses. So We very, very rarely make exceptions in terms of exceptional entry, but we will always endeavour to find an alternative programme for those students. So please don't worry. The same goes for if you've changed your mind, and I think Thomas alluded to it earlier. We have a sort of an amnesty in the first half term where we allow our students the opportunity to make changes to their programme of study. So there is an opportunity at enrolment, and then there are 3 other subsequent opportunities for students to make changes, because as much as you may think you're going to really enjoy a particular subject, you may get into the classroom and after the first couple of weeks think, oh, this really isn't for me. So always an opportunity to discuss your programme of study.
Great, thank you. Slight change of focus here, which is around applying for a creative course.
Okay.
How many pieces would you need to have in your portfolio? Is that a real critical decision-making point?
At the moment, really very difficult, because obviously our interviews are taking place virtually. So at the moment, what we are advising students to do is to bring their portfolio with them to enrolment. Obviously, if you are taking a GCSE in an art and design subject, we'll be looking at your grades for those as well. But in terms of portfolios, we're advising students at the moment to bring those with them to enrolment.
Okay, that's great. What about wheelchair access? Is the college accessible?
Yes, the college is accessible. What I would say is, if you would like to leave your details with us, and we will ask somebody from our learning support team to get in contact with you, because they will be able to give you more details, more information, and have a more personal conversation with you about accessibility.
Thank you, Amanda, that's great. We'll ask that person to do that. Just scrolling through, we have a lot. Somebody's saying they want to take A-level biology and chemistry, but don't have the required maths grade. What can they do?
Then I would say they need to look at the BTech Applied Science. Unfortunately, there is a really high level of mathematical content in all A-level sciences, and therefore I'm afraid it is an absolute necessity that they achieve that grade 6 or above in mathematics. If that's not going to be possible, then we would always advise students to look at the BTech Applied Science. You can take that as the 1 A-level equivalent, so the extended certificate, or you can take it as the national diploma, so the 2 A-level equivalency. Students who take that successfully progress on to university to study a whole range of courses. So whether it's midwifery, whether it's sort of medical research, whatever it might be, students do progress onto university courses with the BTech Applied Science. So my advice would be that if you are at all concerned about that mathematics grade, that you look at the BTech Applied Science. And again, if you are joining the curriculum chat, you can ask questions of our head of sciences is on that chat, so please put some questions up and I'm sure she'll be able to answer those for you.
Thank you. A couple of questions from, or questions from a couple of people about the same thing, which is around the facilities at the college, particularly things like the gym, if we've got a gym, and what else students access.
So we are a lovely combination of old and new buildings. We have a very large sports hall. We have several sports fields, beautiful fields actually out at the back of the building. So rugby, football, we have a netball court, we have tennis courts. There is a gym and students are able to join that, but obviously they have to go through a training session. We have a dedicated dance studio. We have 2 drama studios. We have a very large space that we call Cooper's Hall, which is part of our historical connections with the Coopers Company, and Henry Strode, the founder of our college, and his connections with that company, which date back several hundred years. But again, a large performance space. We have dedicated art rooms, dark room. We have, obviously, it's a 3D design laboratory. We have specialist science laboratories, computer suites. So very much a whole range of dedicated classroom and workshop spaces, I guess is the best way to put it. And the music rooms, I mustn't forget the music rooms. So again, they are set up. There is a practice performance space, and there are also on the other side of the sort of the lawn are the actual rooms themselves and the recording studio that's part of that.
Wow.
Sorry, I know it's very difficult because you kind of sort of find yourself. I'm sure people can appreciate this. I'm sort of mentally walking around the building, which is, you know, I'm sort of worrying that I'm going to forget something. So hopefully I've covered everything.
That's great. And then, well, I think one area just around places to study outside of the classroom. So again, we have, we call it the Learning Centre.
It's our library, I guess is the easiest way to describe that. And there are a number of spaces within that, both within the main room and sort of as offshoots where students can go to work. So there is a silent study space. There are dedicated spaces there with access to computers. There are work carousels. Again, they're sort of free standing tables, and again Cooper's Hall is used as a study space. We also have nominated and dedicated studied spaces around the college as well, so quiet spaces where students can go to work. Many of our spaces are staff open up for additional support sessions. So the art and design block, for example, they will have the rooms open for students to continue working on their art pieces when there are no lessons actually taking place in there. So there is access. And again, the drama and dance spaces are accessible for rehearsal time and practice time outside of lessons.
That's fantastic. Somebody's asking about the demand for places. What does that look like? Are there any particularly popular subjects that you're aware of?
That's a trick question. There are always specific courses that are hugely popular. I think it would be disingenuous of me to say what they are. My advice is always, please put your application in sooner rather than later, as that absolutely helps to guarantee you your place on the subjects of your choice. And the same is true of if you are thinking about any changes to your programme of study. Again, we will do our best, but we do have some subjects that are far more popular than others in terms of students really being very interested in them. So my advice is always get your application in sooner rather than later.
And with that, is there a deadline on applications?
There isn't a deadline on applications, but again, it's the same message really, that the sooner you'll get your application in, the sooner we can get you to an interview, and the more likely we are to be able to guarantee you the subject choices that you want.
Okay, that's great. I'm just whizzing through. We've got lots of questions here.
That's okay.
Is it possible to resit GCSEs at college?
So we obviously, for those students who are not successful in achieving their grade 4 or above, they will be required to resit English and or maths. If it's both English and maths, then obviously you would be looking at a level 2 pathway programme anyway. We offer resit opportunities in GCSE English, GCSE Maths and GCSE Combined Science only. I'm afraid we are primarily a level 3 provider. We are offering level 2 programmes of study, but they are foundation pathways through to level 3. If you are looking to resit all of your GCSEs, then you would really be looking to do that as an external candidate. But we do, as I say, offer a foundation pathway that is English, Maths and Combined Science, which is proving more and more popular. So again, that might be an option. And one of the reasons for offering that was to allow students to then progress onto potentially an A-level pathway or a level 3 BTech pathway, depending on their grades and the outcome from that.
Great, thank you. Sorry, I just lost there. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Are we taking applications from year 10s now?
Oh,
somebody who's keen.
That is very, very keen. I don't think the applications for year 10 open until July, but please do contact our admissions department. I think they are probably best placed to give you that specific advice, but fantastic, brilliant. I love the fact that we've got a year 10 wanting to apply already. That's amazing. Please come and join us. We'd love to have you.
Just whizzing through some more questions. When does enrolment actually start?
So enrolment typically starts, this is a very difficult one, because typically we start the week after GCSE results are released. We will be returning to college. I think it is I'm just going to look at my diary, so apologies while I zoom forward a little bit. So we will be opening our doors on the 24th of August. So enrolment is likely to start from the 25th of August.
Great, thank you.
Sorry, I was going to say, and students will be invited into an appointment for interview. So they are, again, they're individualised appointments, and students are invited into college for those.
So they apply first, then they get an interview,
Yes.
accept their offer,
Yes.
and once that offer is accepted, then we'll write to them and invite them in.
Absolutely, yes.
Great, thank you. Somebody's asking about financial help with travel, and I know that we've got our student support team coming on later, but
Yes.
do we offer a travel bursary?
We do. We offer a number of bursaries to students. The best advice I can give you is to listen into the talk from my colleagues, the Group Vice Principal for Student Services, Bernadette Jocelyn, and the Head of Learner Services, Naomi Bailey, who I think are following on after me. And they will be able to give you more information about that. We run a number of schemes to support our students. So whether that's help with travel costs, whether that's supporting with the laptop leasing scheme. We know a number of students need help with support and access to IT. There are a number of support initiatives in place to help students, but please do take those questions forward to my colleagues who are following on after me. Or indeed, you can get in touch with our student services team directly, and they will be able to give you more information. So perhaps if we could put, I think there's a link to the financial team and services as well, Fiona.
Yes, we will do. Also, somebody has said what happens if they've applied, they're waiting to hear, haven't heard back yet, and somebody else has said that they actually want to change their subject. What advice would you give them? Who should they contact?
Okay, first of all, please don't worry. We are getting to everybody. We try to interview people as quickly as we possibly can, and we do have interviews booked in now going through March and April. If you are concerned about how your application is processing, please contact our admissions department, and they'll be able to check that for you and make sure that everything is going through. But I do promise you we will do our very best to get to you as quickly as we can. If you've changed your mind, please don't worry. You can absolutely discuss that at interview. That's part of the interviewing process, is to make sure that you've chosen the right subjects for you, that you've really thought through all your options, and to make sure that you're fully aware of what you're taking on with those courses. So please don't worry if you've changed your mind. There is an opportunity for you to discuss that at interview. And indeed, again, if you change your mind between interview and enrolment, you can discuss it again at enrolment.
Great, thank you. And I've just put the admissions email on in the chat box if anybody wants to follow up their application or inform them of any changes. What about learners with EHCPs, education healthcare plans? How do we support those learners?
Okay, so again, that would be part of our dedicated learning support team, who work specifically with those learners to ensure that their individual needs are met. All subject staff who have students within their classes who have an EHCP are made aware of individual needs and will take that into account with any work that is set and with any support and guidance that is given. But again, I would suggest that that's a more individual conversation with the learning support team, just to have that conversation about individual needs and what we can best do to support you, again, to ensure that we are best placed to support you and meet your needs, and that we are the best place for you. And it's often about choosing the place that's going to be able to meet your needs and ensure you get the support you need, but also to make sure that you're comfortable with that level of support as well. So again, it's an individual conversation really with our learning support team, I think.
Thank you. Someone's asking about subject videos. Do we have those? We've got lots of resources there.
We have lots of resources, yes. So if you go onto our website, you can download, there are lots of things that are there for year 10. There are videos that talk you through the subjects from our heads department. There are materials for year 11 and lots of materials for year 11. So lots of subject content materials there on our website. Please do avail yourself of those. They will help you to understand what the subjects are going to be like, the sorts of things that you might be studying. And there are some really nice ideas as well for wider study. So please do that. You can also take a virtual tour of the college with Karen Griffiths and the heads of departments. So please do go onto our website and look at those things.
Thank you. There's quite a few people asking about how they join the live chat to talk to tutors. So I'll just explain that, if that's okay, Amanda. So
yeah, absolutely.
All of our subject tutors are waiting to talk to you right now. They're online on the live chat. You go to the homepage of our website, and in the bottom right, you'll see a little chat box. And you just click on that and then post your question, and somebody there will make sure you get to speak to the right person. So all of the heads of department are there, and feel free to talk to as few or as many of them as you like. And I'll just put the web address in the chat so that you can just click through to it if you need to. Great, thank you. Just conscious of time, we've got a few more minutes left before we have to move on to the next event. I'm just having a look through here. Oh, someone's asking about learning support team. I think we do have a member of the learning support staff on the live chat. So you just ask your questions there, that's no problem. Somebody's asking about the destinations that students go to. So perhaps we've got some fairly interesting options, haven't we?
We have, yes. I mean, students go on to a huge variety of destinations. So from those that are very close to home, including Royal Holloway and St Mary's. And actually one of the things I haven't really mentioned, and I probably should have done, so forgive me, is our close association with both Royal Holloway and St Mary's. We offer what's called, or we're part of what's called the TAS scheme, which is specifically designed to support sports students, so high achieving national level sports students. So if anybody is particularly interested in that and would like more information, if they go to the group chat and ask those questions, they will be put through to the subject specialist who will be able to answer those. Further afield, we have a number of students who go on to Birmingham, to Southampton, to Nottingham, and obviously we've got students who progress on to King's, to UCL, to Oxford, to Cambridge. I think we've got students who've gone on to both this year, and we've got our lovely Nathan who's flown the nest and gone to the USA, to Princeton, which is an amazing achievement for him, but I think it's probably the furthest afield we've had somebody go. So yes, a wide range of universities and a wide range of subjects, so everything and anything from mechanical engineering to classics, to PPE, to history, to creative writing, to sports science. Psychology is really popular, business studies. Lots of people going on to that. And of course, students who go on to do more, I suppose I'm going to call them bespoke courses, so progressing on to performing arts type courses, to conservatoires, to music-based courses, music production, to those who go on to foundation art degrees. So some very specific things. We had a number of students who went on to Ravensbourne to study film and media. So yes, a whole range of students and destinations.
Fantastic. And then just allowing us to wrap up quickly, trips and visits. How are we going to handle those this year, do you think?
So we have been really engaging with a lot of virtual speakers who have been beaming in live to speak to our students, and encouraging our students to take advantage of the many virtual opportunities there are. So from the live streaming of National Theatre shows, to the tours that are available of the various museums and galleries. Trips and visits are a little bit more complicated at the moment. We're really hoping that we can get back to a point where these are an absolutely key cornerstone of what we offer to our students, because we absolutely know how important they are. But for the time being, we are doing our best to replicate them with as many virtual and as bespoke opportunities as we can.
That's